today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a fantastic case result win that we had at the Rossen law firm. This case was a grand theft auto case where our client was really the victim of a yo-yo scam. Now, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We give great information out there, and I don't want any of you folks to miss out on the things that we have to say about criminal law. So my name's Adam Rossen. I'm the owner and founder of the Rossen law firm. And like I said before, we're criminal and white-collar defense lawyers in South Florida. I'm a former prosecutor. We've handled hundreds, if not thousands, of these cases at the Rossen law firm, and we have over 600 five-star reviews. So let's talk about Sarah's case, right? And like I said before, she was actually the victim of a yo-yo scam. So what happened with Sarah is she went to a local Toyota dealership to buy a new car. They had her there for 7 hours negotiating the price and making it very inconvenient for her, like they always do, right? It's always a pain in the butt to go to a car dealership and they try to make it into this big whole thing about haggling for price and just grinding you down. Kind of like the criminal justice system where it tries to grind people down without attorneys. But they finally agreed on a price and financing 30 minutes after closing time. She takes the car. She drives it home. She thinks, wow, I have this great brand new car. That was, a pain in the butt, but I finally have it. Well, guess what? 3 days later, they call her and they say that the financing terms have changed. She was only conditionally approved. She was not fully approved, and that now her interest rate is higher and she's going to have to take the car back to the dealership and pay more money. And this is called a yo-yo scam. It's very common in the shady car dealership industry. Okay, so what did Sarah do? Right, Sarah was kind of tough and a little stubborn, and she refused to go back to the dealership. She said, "Absolutely not. I have a contract. We've agreed to financing. This is a yo-yo scam. I'm not going to be involved, and you're not going to victimize me." So she tried to pay her loan. And of course, the loan was with the dealership's finance company. So she sent the check in, and the finance company refused to deposit the check. And they're calling her and harassing her. They're sending her threatening letters that they're going to have her arrested and she needs to return the car. And she calls them back and says, "No, this is what we agreed upon. You guys are the criminals. Deposit my check." And they refused. So then what did the dealership do? They called the police, and the police got involved. Okay, an initial officer was there. They sent it to a detective a few weeks later, and the detective didn't really do much of an investigation. The detective made 1 weak attempt to try and speak with Sarah, and he was unsuccessful. Didn't try again. There was no follow-up. There was nothing. He just took the word of the Toyota dealership employees, as it was the gospel, and did nothing. And he sent it out to the prosecutor's office, and the prosecutors put a warrant out for her arrest. Well, Sarah didn't know about it, and one of Sarah's big mistakes was not hiring a criminal defense attorney right away to get in front of this. And about a year later, she moved to the Northeast. And about a year after that, about 2 years after this incident, she's driving her car. She gets stopped for speeding. Surprise, you have a warrant for grand theft auto, a felony from Florida. What do? They take her to jail, they seize the car, they end up sending the car back to the Toyota dealership, and she's in jail in the Northeast for about 3 weeks waiting to be extradited. Okay? Whereas if she was arrested in South Florida, and this occurred in Broward County, she would have been able to go to jail and get out the same day. But instead, this was a 60-year-old woman who had never been arrested, never been to jail before in her entire life, spent 3 weeks in jail awaiting transport. Now, at this time, her and her son did the right thing, and they found us, and they hired us. Okay, so what did we do on this case? We got her out of jail very quickly. So that was the first step. then the charges were already filed. So we had to dig our heels in and defend this case. And we knew this case was going to be a fight, right? We thought this case was going to go on for about a year, which it did. And what we did is we got the discovery from the prosecutors. And the discovery is all of the witness statements, the reports, the evidence that they intend to use. It's all of the finance documents, all the applications, all of the, just everything to do with purchasing the vehicle. We went through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And we saw that they were banking on that, yes, it said conditional sale agreement. And they got sworn statements from the dealership managers and the finance manager and the person who sold the car saying, oh, we told her about this. We told her about this. Well, I talked to Sarah and she said, absolutely not. They never told me about this. They stuck 15 pages of papers in front of me, told me to sign everything. It was 30 minutes after they closed. It was a, intimidating, stressful, and, just kind of, just a bad environment, right? Where it was really coercive. And her son was there, and we listed him as a defense witness. He was an adult son. He was about 25, 30 years old. And he was there the whole time. And he said, Adam, I was there. This is the exact way it was. So we took depositions of everybody. We brought them in. We had our court reporter there typing everything out, and we grilled them hard. And we had some great testimony in these depositions, and we knew that we were going to go to trial and win. And luckily, Sarah was a type of person that wanted to stand up for herself, and she wanted to push this all the way to trial, right? It was trial or a complete dismissal of the charges is what she told me from day one. And whenever we have a client like that, I say, all right, let's go, let's ride, right? And that's what we did. We pushed this case very aggressively. Once we had everything all set up, we had the lead detective in this case admit that he did a very poor investigation, admit that he could have and should have done a better job. I outlined about 5 different things he could have done to get Sarah to talk to him, and he admitted that he did none of them and should have done. So that was great testimony in that deposition. And what happened was we pushed this aggressively. I explained our defense to the prosecutor. I explained what a yo-yo scam was. I explained just all of these things, which a lot of times we will deliberately hold back and save some things for trial and have like a great surprise, because ultimately in trials we have the advantage because we know our defense strategy and we know the prosecutor's strategy, and the prosecutors don't always know our defense strategy because we don't have to tell them. But in this case, I did, because I wanted her to really understand that Sarah was the true victim here. And the prosecutor did a fantastic job. She spent the whole weekend before trial digging in and reviewing this case in great detail. And the night before trial, she called me and she said, you know what, Adam, I agree with you. I'm dropping everything. So we didn't have to go to trial. It would have been a fun one for us, but that's always great when the night before trial, case gets dismissed, and client was very happy. We expunged her record, so this won't be seen, this won't be part of the public record anymore, and Sarah's very happy. Of course, we wish she never had to go through this situation at all. Of course, nothing happened to the Toyota dealership or the managers involved. The prosecutors had no interest in trying to prosecute them. The cops had no interest in trying to investigate and arrest them. We tried, but that's a different video for a different day to talk about that and how that system works. But all I could say is that we were very happy at least to fix Sarah's case and have her and help her achieve her best future. If you ever have any questions about criminal law, white collar law, fraud, anything like this, give us a call, 754-206-6200, or find us at rossenlawfirm.com.